I'm Real Agent Adam, and I'm a realtor and a real estate investor. And I'm here to bring you educational content in a bite-sized format to help make you a more savvy buyer and seller. All right, today's video is about the home buying process and an overview of that process. So we're not going too deep into any one of these items. This is really just to give you kind of the flow of how you go and purchase a home from start all the way to the finish line when you get handed the key. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So the very first thing that you're always going to do when starting the home buying process is have a buyer's consultation with your favorite realtor. That may just be me, or it may not if you're not in my local market. Either way, that's where you need to start. What they're going to do there is talk to you about what you're looking for in a home and getting you pre-approved. I will always recommend that you get pre-approved with your realtor's preferred lender. The reason for this is they have a great working relationship with this lender, and what that does is it makes everything so much easier for you. I promise you, they're not trying to hurt you by sending you to their lender. It's all for a good reason, okay? So step one, talk to a realtor. Step two, talk to their lender and get yourself pre-approved. You can't buy a house without the pre-approval, so make sure you go and get that. Then, after you get pre-approved, starts the fun part of the process. Your realtor is going to get you hooked up on one of their portals to allow you to search through their MLS. That's the multiple listing service, is what we as realtors use to upload our documents and our information to the internet when we get a listing. They're going to get you set up on there. You're going to have a lot of fun swiping through pictures, looking at information, checking out square footages, so on and so forth. Then you're going to find some homes that you really, really like that you want to go see in person. You're going to text or call your realtor, email them even, and say, hey, I want to go check out 123 Apple Street. The house looks really, really cool there. They're going to get you set up on these showings and request those showings through typically an app or sometimes a phone call to the listing agent. They're going to get you into the home. You're going to check out those homes. After seeing several homes, or maybe even the first one that you see, you're going to fall in love and want to make an offer. That is the next step in the process, is making that offer. Your realtor is going to talk to you about all the details of that offer and how it's going to be structured, and then they're going to write up all of those contracts for you. Typically, you're going to be getting somewhere between 5 to 7 different documents that you have to sign, totaling somewhere between like 50 to 70 pages worth of documentation. It is a lot. Trust me, it's not fun, but you got to do it to get a house. So just get through it and get your offer in there, guys. Promise you, it's all going to be worth it at the end when you get that key. From there, that agent is going to take that over to the listing agent, and they're going to present your offer to that listing agent. That agent is going to take that offer and they're going to present it to their seller. That seller has a couple different options of what they can do. They can either accept your offer as it is, they can give you a counter offer, or they can just flat out deny your offer if it offends them. So be careful, don't shoot too low, because you might just offend them and never get the house, even if you're the only person making an offer. So if you don't get your offer accepted, what you're going to do is actually go back to the previous steps of looking for a home and rinse and repeat until you get a home under contract. So your offer gets accepted. You're under contract officially. Happy dance. Woo! You got it under contract. But hold on. It's not over yet. The process is really just getting started at this point. Your hard work is done, but your agents and your lenders' hard work and your title companies is not. So you got it under contract. What happens after that? Well, let's get into it. So a couple things are going to happen simultaneously. Your agent is going to send that contract out to your lender and whoever you guys decide that you want to use for your title company, which in Pennsylvania also happens to be your settlement company. Here we don't need a lawyer to do it. Settlement companies and title companies have the capability to do so. So that title company will immediately start what's called a title search. That's something that's going to be happening in the background that you're not going to have really any part of, but it's going to be something that you definitely need and want done. You don't have a choice if you're getting a mortgage, but if you are buying cash, you would have the choice. But never in a million years would I ever recommend you to buy a property without getting that title search done. What that's going to do is let you know that your home is free and clear of any liens or encumbrances, mechanics liens, mortgages, what have you. Everything's going to have to be paid and satisfied for it to get to the settlement table, so that way you can purchase the home. While that's happening, you're going to be writing out what's called an EMD check. That's an earnest money deposit check. That is a check that you hand over to the listing agent and their company deposits that, and it gets held in escrow until you get to the settlement table, and then that gets dispersed back to you at settlement off of what you owe at the closing table. I have my little checklist here just to make sure I'm hitting all the points, so I'm going to look down at that quick. The next thing that's going to happen is going to be any and all inspections if you have elected to do so. I know with the current state of the market here in 2021 where I live, it's kind of few and far between who's getting inspections these days if you want to actually win an offer. But if you do have the capability to do so, I'll always recommend it to you. I think it's the safe and smart thing to do. So that will happen usually within the first 10, 15, or 20 days of you being under contract, depending on what your contract reads out for you. So during that time, you're also going to have a renegotiation period after that inspection happens. If you're not completely satisfied with what you found in that inspection, it's going to give you the chance to either negotiate price or get repairs done, so on and so forth. The next step in the process is going to be getting an appraisal, okay? So an appraisal is the bank determining what they value the home to be that they're willing to lend upon, all right? So if that appraisal comes back and it needs any repairs, those are going to have to be done for you to get to the settlement table. Again, some negotiations back and forth with the seller to figure out who's going to pay for that and who's going to do the work. Also, if it doesn't meet the appraised value of which you had for the sales price, so i.e. you bought it for 100 grand, but it comes in at 95, again, some renegotiations are going to have to take place, whether you're pulling more money out of pocket or whether the seller is going to come down in list price. Or sales price, not list price. If the appraisal is good, you're going to move right on past it. If not, again, that renegotiation is going to happen and you'll take it from there. You're either going to fall out of contract and have to start this whole process over again, or you're going to figure it out with the seller and you're going to move on to the next hump. The next one is going to be your mortgage approval. Getting that approval is going to be either conditional or outright. Sometimes it happens before the inspection takes place, or before the appraisal takes place rather, and that could be a conditional piece to that mortgage approval, but you need that by the contract date, or technically the seller can terminate the contract and you're not going to be able to do anything about it, unfortunately. So make sure your realtor is on top of that if they're not a good one. Setting up your closing day and time is going to be something that your realtor is going to converse with you to figure out what works for you. And then converse that with both the selling party and the title company and the lender to make sure it works for everybody. We're going to figure out a good time for everyone and then set that date, put it in your calendar, and don't forget, because you're buying a house that day. Then the next and one of the final steps in the process is getting your clear to close, which is the bank saying that, hey, we have met all criteria that we need in order to get you this loan. You are clear to go ahead and go to the closing table. Your mortgage has been officially approved with no more conditions needing to be met. At that point, now you can really do the happy dance, because it's pretty much a sure deal at that point that you're going to be getting the house, unless something crazy pops up out of nowhere. But typically at that point, again, if you have a good realtor, that's just not going to happen. Then you get to settlement day. La la la, music to your ears. You've made it, you're here. It's settlement day. What do you expect and what needs to be done? Two big things are going to happen that day. First and foremost, you're going to have a pre-settlement walkthrough. You're going to look at the house one last time before you go to the settlement table. Make sure nobody came in and broke windows, bashed walls, did anything crazy, that you're getting the house in the same condition at which you saw it when you went to your original showing. As long as you're okay with the way that the house looks, you're moving right along and heading to the bank to get your certified check. Yes, this does have to be certified funds. It can't be a personal check. It can't be a money order. It can't be cash. It has to be certified from your bank that those funds are going to clear when they cash that check. That is going to be made out to your settlement company, or if you have a lawyer doing it, it's going to be made out to their office, and it is going to be for the amount in which your realtor tells you that you are going to be owing. You get that made out to the title company. You make sure you put in the little notes section the property address of the house that you're going to purchase. Always make sure you endorse that bad boy. A certified check, the bank's actually going to endorse it for you, but just make sure that it is there. I've seen it be missed before. Then you're going to take that along with yourself and your driver's license over to wherever you're settling at, and you are going to sign a ton of paperwork when you're purchasing a home and you're getting a mortgage. Your hand is going to hurt afterwards and it's going to be cramped up. But you just bought yourself a house. Congratulations, you made it all the way to the settlement table. You're here. You did it. You have the keys. You get to take a picture with the sold sign with your realtor. And now you're going to get the moving truck and move into your home. That is, in a nutshell, the home buying process from A all the way to Z. We're going to be doing some deep dives on each and every single one of these parts of the process over time here. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that content. As always, I'm Real Agent Adam with the Glenda Kane & Company team over at Realty One Group Generations. If you like this content, you want to see more of it, subscribe to my channel. Do it now. Do it right now. All right, guys, I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.